For over 100 years, the Butler County Humane Society has cared for and placed into loving homes the area's abused, neglected, and abandoned animals. Our No-Kill initiative was started in 2000 with a commitment of the board, our staff, and our community. As we are a non-profit, non-tax-supported facility, the BCHS is dependent on private donations for survival. We hope you enjoy this episode of Critter Corner and bring your entire family to visit us here at the Butler County Humane Society.
2-year-old Barnes has a slow and steady personality coupled with just a splash of spunk. For the most part, he's happy just lounging around near you or going for a nice walk at your side. But he still has his energetic spurts where he likes to bounce around as though he were still a puppy and play with a toy or two, especially if it squeaks. Due to his gentle nature, he would likely fit well into any home. Checker seems an appropriate name for a 3-year-old black and white cat due to his appearance, but it also suits his personality. While playing with other cats, he sits back and watches until it's the right time to strike. Then he goes in for the jump and pounce. With people, he is affectionate and gentle, but he does seem to prefer older kids, so a home with children over 15 would be best. Dutch is 2 years old and arrived to the shelter as a stray, so not much is known about his past. However, it is clear that he knows what he wants, and that's a new home. Strong, both mentally and physically, Dutch likes to be active and challenged whenever possible. This can make him a bit much for younger kids, so a home without children over 10 would be best. However, he would make a great companion if you are looking for anything from a running partner to a house dog willing to learn fun show tricks such as roll over and play dead. Sweet as Sugar is 8-month-old Lollipop. She is laid back but still enjoys all of the activities typically associated with a cat her age, included but not limited to playing, napping, and being held. Though the list can continue on and on, her personality truly speaks for itself as she is such a well-rounded young lady that is sure to grow into a fine adult feline. Lollipop would likely fit well into just about any home. Small and peppy, 1-year-old Austin is still growing out of his puppy stage. At times, he can be all puppy, running around while barking happily and playing with a toy, while at other times he is calmer and more laid back, showing everyone that he's gradually maturing into a nice young man. Though he is friendly and well-mannered, Austin's energy and personality would be best suited for a family with kids over 5. This big boy came to us with a permanent wink. While it's uncertain how 5-year-old Teddy lost his right eye, it's obviously not negatively affecting his mood. He's a lovable boy who just lays back and soaks up your attention. Though he occasionally bumps into things whenever he's not paying attention, he almost never loses track of a tennis ball as his favorite game is fetch. Despite his gentle and playful disposition, Teddy would still do best in a home with older kids and no cats. Keeping your pet safe during the hot summer months is critical to their well-being. Here are some very important reminders. Never leave your animal alone in a parked vehicle, even with the windows down. Never shave your dog. A shorter haircut is fine, but a shave will remove hair that protects them from overheating and sunburn. Cats will benefit from an extra brushing. Always be sure that your animal has plenty of fresh water and shade to help hydrate and keep cool. Always keep pets' time on concrete or asphalt to a minimum. Not only can they burn their feet, but the heat can rise their temperature to a dangerous level. Mila had the good fortune of being found by one of the Butler County Humane Society's veteran volunteers and spent a brief amount of time at her home. There, it was discovered that she has a bit of lap cat in her, but only once she becomes comfortable with you. With an air of elegance about her, Mila would make an excellent companion for a quiet home without any other pets, so she can receive your full attention as she knows she deserves. With a personality shining brighter than any star is 9-year-old Nova. An extra large man, Nova can appear to be overwhelming, but he's truly a giant teddy bear. Wanting nothing more than a loving pat on the head, he will sit next to your side, bumping your hand with his nose until he receives some affection and attention. Nova would likely fit into most homes though he may do best as the only dog. Just over 4 years old, Kenny has come a long way since arriving at the Butler County Humane Society as a stray. Initially, he had a few medical issues that needed attention, but he is now a healthy man ready to find himself a forever home. Mild-mannered and very affectionate, Kenny seems to get along with everyone and everything, especially other cats. He would fit well into any home. Though he was surrendered to the shelter, 5-year-old Duke doesn't seem to mind since he's still getting plenty of attention from staff and volunteers. While he seems to be a ladies' man, he won't object to playing fetch or gently getting a belly rub from one of the guys. Due to his dynamic disposition, Duke appears to be well suited for most homes. Though still on the younger side, at 2 years old, Ash is already mature beyond her years. She is laid back and easygoing, not minding if she's picked up and held. On rare occasions, she enjoys chasing around a toy or two, but doesn't seem too interested most of the time. Ash enjoys your attention the most and only likes sharing it with certain other cats, but she would fit well into most any home. A wound on 1.5-year-old Brittany's neck tells us of the rough time she experienced while on her own as a stray. Understandably, she was timid and cautious, weary of all the attention she was receiving from staff. Now, Brittany is coming out of her shell and is much more willing to meet new people. But she would still do best in a home with children over 10 as long as they are not high energy. Bob, originally from a litter of 4, is the most laid back of his siblings. While he enjoys romping and running around during playtime with his human companions, he still loves cuddle time most of all. Even now, at just over a year old, Bob is still okay being held. He would make an excellent addition to most any home, with or without kids or dogs, but would need to be an only cat. Originally adopted from the shelter, 3-year-old Bear returned when his family began going through a divorce. Since his last stay, he has packed on a few pounds, but that just means there's more of him to love. Though he is treat and food motivated, Bear still enjoys running around with some other dogs, playing fetch, and going for walks. Despite his size, he would do well with some kids and some other dogs, but doesn't seem to enjoy cats. Found as a stray with a huge cut under his right leg, 2-year-old Jack seems to have seen his fair share of challenges already. At first, the sutures didn't take and his wound wasn't healing. But thanks to the persistence of the vet, he is all healed and well again. Before arriving to the shelter, Jack had played with the neighborhood kids and other pets, so he would fit well into most any home. Still young and learning, this 1-year-old cutie, Reba, has plenty of enthusiasm left from her puppy days. She loves to play and run in the fenced-in yards. Once she burns off her energy, Reba is ready for some TLC and happily gives kisses. Though she didn't know much upon arriving as a stray, she is well on her way to the basics, thanks to a dedicated staff member, but since she still has some work to do, she would do best in a home with kids over 12. Picasso came to the shelter as a stray and was very tiny for his age. Now, at 4 months old, he is still a bit on the small side, but is becoming a happy and healthy boy. While he starts off shy, he steadily warms up to you and will be clinging to your shirt for cuddle in no time. Due to his shyness, he warms up slowly to other animals as well, but has had several kitty playmates since arriving at the shelter, so he would likely fit well into most homes. At 2 years old, Boo Boo is still trying to figure out who he is. Sometimes he can be shy and unsure of himself, while at other times he will be up and running, ready to play. The one constant thing with him is his sweet disposition. Even during his timid moments, he obviously enjoys the loving attention he gets from you, but isn't sure how to return that love just yet. Boo Boo would do best in a home with kids over 10, so he has the freedom to learn how to show his appreciation for a new family. A handsome man at 4, Ryan knows how to charm. He boldly greets you with a headbutt and immediately looks for some love. With such poise and confidence, it's hard not to resist him. Even the other cats seem to fall for him, and he has had quite a few playmates during his stay at the shelter. Due to this, Ryan would likely fit well into any home, with or without kids and other pets. Sporting the traditional sad beagle face, 8-year-old Roxy is anything but sad. She happily and enthusiastically runs and greets a new face and is instantly your friend after just one sniff. She loves playing fetch as well as the occasional game of keep away, while she would rather have you chase her around. Keeping true to her beagle nature, her favorite thing is getting attention from you. Roxy would make a wonderful addition to any family. Although not as famous as his namesake, 2-year-old Clapton is a rock star at the shelter. Often heard singing out from his kennel, Clapton catches the attention of everyone he meets and quickly becomes your friend when given the chance. He doesn't mind being held, and he just loves to be loved. He'll even give you kisses by pressing his face to yours while purring as loudly as he can. Clapton gets along well with people of all ages, dogs, and other cats. Arriving to the Humane Society as a stray was a little overwhelming for 2-year-old Pitty Pat, but after settling into the daily routine of shelter life, she has become a confident young lady, happy to make new friends any chance she gets. While she is friendly towards people of all ages, she would fit better into a home with older kids so she doesn't knock over any little ones while playing. And she appears to be picky about her canine companions. Did you resolve to be more active in the new year? Come volunteer and take one of our canine companions for a walk. Or maybe you resolve to relax and de-stress. Our cat socialization rooms are just what you need. If you are interested in volunteering, pick up an application and attend a volunteer orientation. They occur every second Monday of the month at 6 p.m. right at the shelter. For questions, call Jill at 724-789-1150 and start the new year off right by becoming a member of our team. Tennyson is the last of a litter of 4. Originally in foster care, this little lady is now 6 months old and has settled into a playful personality. The mover and thinker of her litter, she is always exploring and trying new toys to see what noises or movements they make. Her favorite toys are covered in feathers, but once she has one, she doesn't want to put it down. But don't let this fool you, she still enjoys being held for brief periods of time and will always return affection with a loving purr. Big, soulful eyes are the first thing most people notice about 4-year-old Annette. The next is always her sweet demeanor and even temperament. Though middle-aged, she still has plenty of pep in her step and enjoys going for walks or romping around with a new toy. She is on the petite side, yet is still very muscular. Despite this strength, she is gentle with people, making her suitable for most kids. Overall, this lovely lady would fit well into just about any home. Nellie was brought in by a kind soul who found her wandering near a local road. An outstretched hand will coax her to you for some much appreciated petting and cheek rubs. Although initially timid upon arrival as a stray, Nellie has become quite a busy girl, always on the lookout for a runaway ball or a dangling toy. Nellie would be a wonderful addition to most families and a great playmate for kids over 8. This girl, true to her name, is sure to bring a ray of sunshine into your home. At 2 years old, Sunshine is still working on some of her commands, but she doesn't need to learn how to keep her human companions entertained. With a goofy disposition and a happy hound face, she's sure to bring you a smile while playing or even on a walk. Due to her easygoing temperament, she would fit well into any home, with or without kids or other pets. Beautiful and reserved, 3-year-old Judy came to us as a stray, and she is fully ready to find herself a home. Low maintenance and easy to handle while being groomed and having her nails trimmed. She does not ask for much, just that her new family respects her need for an occasional alone time. Judy would do better in a home with kids over 8. At 3 years old, Hannah is still hanging on to some of her puppy energy, making other dogs her age jealous of her spunk and vigor. She enjoys playing and going for walks, but also seems to soak up some downtime in the quieter areas of the building, showing that she has a fairly well-balanced activity level. Due to this, she would likely do well in most homes, just as long as there are no cats so she isn't tempted to chase them. At 1 year old, Duncan is slowly exiting his crazy kitten phase and is becoming quite the lover. He loves being held for brief amounts of time. While curled up in your arms, he will nuzzle your face and neck, purring loudly the entire time. But once he's down on the ground again, he's ready to run and play. Duncan would make an excellent addition to any home. 3-year-old Scooter came to the shelter as a stray after being found tied to a mailbox. While no one knows how long he was left there, it must have been some time since he was rather skinny upon arrival. Now in the care of our staff, he is coming around very well. Not knowing what to do with a toy at first, he is now carrying around stuffed animals and chasing after tennis balls. Still unsure from time to time, Scooter would do better with calmer kids, but would do well with other dogs. Rachel, at 9 months old, is still growing and developing. Originally arriving as a stray with her siblings, she started off rather shy and uncertain. Now she's coming out of her shell with the help of staff and volunteers. She really began to shine when she went to a few off-site events where she soaked in all the attention she received. Though Rachel has come a long way, she would most likely do best in a quieter home environment. After being returned to the shelter when his family split up, 6-year-old Rambo has quickly settled back into life at the shelter, but is already looking for another loving family to take him home. Rambo is a big boy who is also a big goofball that loves to play. He may be getting older, but he's still as active as a puppy at times. He already knows several commands and would fit well into a home with older kids so he doesn't accidentally knock around any little ones. Pure white fur and pale blue eyes define 7-year-old Jasmine's exterior, yet it is hard to find the words to encompass her gentle interior. Jasmine enjoys the simple things in life, such as curling up on a soft pillow or relaxing while you pamper her with long petting sessions. She even responds well to the occasional mani-pedi. This means that she would prefer a calmer home with kids over 8 so she can relax and enjoy some rest and relaxation. The Butler County Humane Society would like to introduce you to Kathleen Gardina, our Spotlight Volunteer of the Month. A volunteer for over 11 years, she is one of the shelter's longest active volunteers. Kathleen has a table every weekend at the Clearview Mart Flea Market, and she donates all the proceeds from it to the shelter. She is there every Saturday from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. and every Sunday from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. Her efforts have raised thousands of dollars for the BCHS over the years, so please stop by to meet Kathleen and let her know how much you appreciate all that she does for the homeless cats and dogs of Butler County. While she didn't show much of her personality at first, 3-year-old Felina is slowly showing her colors more and more. While she's a beauty, her true appeal comes from her personality. Though she doesn't like to be held for long periods of time, she's more than happy to give you lots of affection with all 4 feet on the floor. Being such a lovely girl inside and out, Felina would fit well into most homes. 1.5-year-old Prince was surrendered to the shelter where he has made himself many friends. His big brown eyes and loving demeanor makes it hard to resist giving him a scratch behind the ears. Then the next thing you know, he's leaning against you, wanting to curl up in your lap. Prince is also very playful with some puppy energy still left in him. He can be vocal while playing, but is still gentle, making him suited for most any home. Jimmy is a 6-month-old kitten ready to romp and play. He is frequently seen running around the socialization room looking for action, both alone and with a play buddy. While some of the other resident cats don't seem to want to join in Jimmy's games for whatever reason, Jimmy is already kind to them. He has even made friends with a few of the resident dogs. While playing is his main priority, he still enjoys a quick cuddle session from time to time to show off his purring skills. 6-year-old Kaiser is a large boy, and while his size may be intimidating to some, he can be just as nervous around new people. Though he sometimes warms up slowly, he is making more and more friends, showing each one that he has a lot of love to give. He just wants to be sure you will love him back. Once he knows you, he'll be more than happy to play and romp around the yard with you. Kaiser is a truly good dog that would fit best into a home with kids over 10. 9-month-old Monica arrived to the shelter as a stray with a few siblings. At first, she was shy and a little antisocial, but after going to several off-site events with volunteers, she began to slowly come out of her shell. Still nervous around too much activity at once, she has been making leaps and bounds. She loves to play and doesn't mind being held for a while from time to time. She would make an excellent companion for a quieter home environment. At 1.5 years old, Bailey was surrendered to the shelter when she and the other household dog weren't getting along. Though she had some trouble making friends with that dog, she hasn't had much trouble making human friends since her arrival at the shelter. She starts off shy, but after one look at her eyes, it's obvious she's a sweetheart. After a greeting with an outstretched hand, she spends every moment showing you how wonderful and loving she can be. Felice came to the Butler County Humane Society as a stray. Staff discovered that she was already spayed, so she must have once been part of a family. While no one knows how she ended up on her own, she is moving forward and looking for the perfect home. Occasionally picky with her people, she's a real sweetheart when she approves of you. Though since she can show some catitude now and then, she would do best in a home with older kids. When Ivy first arrived at the shelter as a stray, she was taken into foster care where she was nursed back to health and grew into a healthy cat. Now, 2 years old, she is seeking a home that will allow her to adjust on her own terms since she was adopted and returned for hiding too much after a very short period of time. If allowed a little bit of space and understanding, she will soon be hugging your shoulder, headbutting your chin, and giving kisses on your cheek. Even though he is a bit wobbly on his feet due to neurological issues, 5-year-old Hamilton still behaves as any other cat would. He purrs, sucks up as much attention as he can manage, and even climbs, jumps, and explores. He's been known to misjudge distance or trip himself up from time to time, but due to his go-get-em attitude, he has quickly become a favorite among staff. As long as he doesn't get laughed at, he makes friends fast and would fit well into most any home. One of 3 siblings surrendered to the shelter due to too many animals, Boots has proven to be the boldest of the 3. He adjusted very quickly to life at the shelter, and he even helped his siblings settle in too. At 1.5, Boots is still active and ready to learn. He enjoys the outdoors and all the activities that are associated with them. He even appears to like water. If you have an active lifestyle or are looking for an active buddy, then consider meeting Boots. This beautiful girl who came to us as a stray over 3 years ago is very selective about her friends, both feline and human. When out of her cube, Allie is quite content to lounge and watch the world go by from the comfort of her own private window seat at the top of the cat tree. Once Allie becomes comfortable with you, you will be greeted with her sweetness, up close and personal. You will even be able to pet her. Allie would prefer a quiet home with someone who understands that companionship and love can be communicated from a distance. Smokey was brought to the shelter at 3 years old. Before arriving, he had an unfriendly run-in with a dog, making him very shy. Though he is often seen hiding, both in and out of his cage, staff has seen more and more of his personality show the longer he has been at the shelter, reassuring them that there is still a friendly, affectionate boy hidden behind all those nerves. But this still means that Smokey would do best in a home with no young kids or dogs. Looking for a way to donate to the animals at the Butler County Humane Society? Here are items currently needed to make them purr and woof their thanks. Plastic children's swimming pools to help keep our dogs cool during the hot summer months. Canned dog food, kitten chow, non-clumping cat litter, hard-to-chew rubber dog toys and large Kong toys for dogs, newspaper, stamps, and hot dogs. A bundle of mats and dirt. 4-year-old Joseph obviously had been running around as a stray for some time. Thanks to staff's care, coupled with the dedication of a few volunteers, he is now quite the handsome boy with a beautiful coat and shining personality. While his favorite time of the day seems to be food time, social time is a close second, whether it is playing, getting brushed, or roaming the social room with other cats. Joseph enjoys the interaction, making him a great addition to just about any home. Still young in age, 11-month-old Mary seems to have an old soul. Not much of one to be snuggled and cuddled, she prefers to find a comfy spot in the socialization room to lounge and contemplate her surroundings. From time to time, she still acts her age and chases around anything with feathers, though she would rather have a home with older kids that will understand her desire to relax more than anything. Yara was brought to the shelter by a family that found her on their front porch. At only 2 years old, it seems she had already had a pretty rough life, as she was very skinny with a few minor health issues. Now, she has gained some weight nicely and is a happy, healthy girl. Yara doesn't mind being held, and she loves to show you how much she appreciates your attention with a sweet purr. Since she is such a nice girl, she would fit well into most homes.